Hello, my friends. Welcome to the much anticipated, long awaited video where I talk to you guys about the consequences of coming out in a public kind of space as autistic via a video. If you haven't seen it, I'll link it. Go watch it first, maybe, so you can see how we got here. I want to preface this video by saying my experience wasn't a good one. So yeah, there was some good, but it was largely very bad. And you might not want to watch it. I'm going to say that straight up. If you're somebody who knows me in my real life, this might make you feel a kind of way. It's not the intention. God, I wish I'd said that at the beginning of the last video, but here we are. It was about my experience, and the only reason that I'm choosing to share this is because, for the love of God, it would have been amazing if somebody had been like, hey, yo, hi, hello. This is going to change your life in a way that you will maybe possibly never recover from. So maybe think very carefully about who you share this information with. I hate that that's the world that we live in, but I would do it again. I would do it again. I might do like one or two things a little bit differently. I might also adjust my expectations for the kind of reactions and things that I got from people. Cause like I wasn't prepared, man. I was not prepared. And I didn't think that, and because when I made the video, I was focusing solely on myself. I've got this broken down into categories. So without further ado, just know that if you are thinking of coming out in like a public kind of a way, making a video, or just even telling people in person, that there is definitely a risk involved. And I don't want to scare you guys away from doing it. I just think that maybe when I tell you what I'm about to tell you, please take from it, learn from it, don't make the same mistakes that I did, and maybe assess your situation, because everybody's situation is different, right? And then decide how you want to handle it. Okay, so that's the whole point of this video, because hundreds of you asked. So I made the video to reach people like me. On my journey, I needed a video like that. And so while I was going through it, I thought to myself, because I've been a YouTuber since 2011, and I've shared a lot of different parts of my life on the internet. So this just seemed like a thing that I had an audience. I was like, there's people who've kind of guessed it about me over the years, and there are people who I might be able to reach, who I might be able to help. My YouTube channel has always been a place for me to express the things that I can't always say just out there in the world, because here I'm uninterrupted. Here I just talk. The only person that interrupts me is editing Courtney when they come in with the scissors and just like snip, 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 whatever, right? So, and that's fine. Hi, editing Courtney. I hope you're having fun putting this one together. I know I'm having so much fun filming it right now. I just so badly wanted to be this kind of person. So you're sitting here with me now. You've obviously found me somehow, and you might feel like you resonate with me, and you might feel like you get something from me, which is what I needed from somebody else. And I couldn't really find that one person that I really just kind of, that's what I do. I'm a content creator. I make videos. I talk. I love these two things, okay? So it was just something that happened. So that's why I made the video. I didn't actually have malicious intent when I made that video. I was not trying to intentionally hurt people, though I know that I did. So as far as my expectations as to what I kind of thought would come out of this entire experience, like the whole thing, like not just making the video, but like actually going and getting my autism assessment and all of that. I really thought, and this is like rose-colored glasses, I don't know, but like I really thought that this was gonna be the thing that like unlocked the unconditional love and support and understanding that I just really desperately needed from just everybody in my life. Like no one person, just from the collective. Do you know what I mean? I thought I might be better understood by my doctors. I wasn't. I thought I might be able to ask for accommodations. I very seldom can. I thought it would give people like an opportunity to know me in a way that they didn't before, where I would come off this one way as if I was trying to be like the center of attention, like I was trying to be the most difficult person in the room. I thought in my mind that somehow it would be like, oh, okay, Courtney's not trying to be difficult and be a pain in the ass. Courtney is maybe actually having a hard time. I thought it would give the world perspective on me, and I know how selfish that all comes across, but you have to know, like, if you're not autistic and you're seeing this, or maybe even if you are and you don't like have the same perspective that I do, it's just that in my mind, I'm constantly thinking about everybody else's stuff Whether it appears like that outwardly or not, I am constantly thinking about what you want, what you need. Are you angry? Are you happy? Where are you at? And so I thought that this was going to maybe flip the tables a little bit and give people an opportunity to be like, oh, hey, wait a second. Maybe it's Courtney's turn. I really, like, if you didn't hear my disclaimer at the beginning of this and you're starting to sense a theme here, this only gets worse from here. So if you, I haven't literally scripted because there's no way I was going to be able to do this without any kind of a game plan. Like, it wasn't going to happen. Okay, so editing Courtney popping in super fast. I just feel like I need to just lift the tone of this video just a little bit because I'm just a couple of minutes really into editing it, and this is pretty depressing, and I have to say it isn't all doom and gloom. So I do have people in my life who, contrary to what it may sound like in the moment that I filmed this, I am going through a lot of things right now. Eric and I are both going through a lot of things right now. Life is just, it's been difficult, and that's not really an excuse, but it is an explanation as to why I was a little bit harsher in this video than I usually come across. But I do have people. I do have people that get it. I have a few close friends who always make the effort, to check in on me. And these are friends who this is honest, this does not make me sound like a very good friend, but who I very seldom reach out to first. And they check in on me and they ask me how I'm doing and what's going on. And I do recognize I need to make more of an effort. It's very hard for me. If I don't see you in person, you don't, like, it's terrible, but you don't exist. Like, that's such a bad thing to say, but it's how my brain works. Like, I'm constantly having to, like, and I'm forever losing stuff. And so I'm forever losing people. And it's a whole thing. Like, even yesterday, as a good example, I was out swimming with some friends and they wanted to go out a little bit deeper and I wasn't going to be able to. And one of my friends ended up staying with me, like, in the shallower area because we were out at a lake. And it was just that kind of a moment. Like, she knew that I wasn't going to be up to a huge trek out in the thing, and neither was she. And then so we just kind of hung out, and then we all got back together, and I let people know what the scoop was, and everybody was really cool and really chill. And so it wasn't, I don't know if that's necessarily like an autistic example, but it's just, I make it sound like nobody gives a shit. And it's just not true. Like, people do care. And the other thing that I had to come to terms with was, and I'm so sorry for the air conditioner in the background, but the thing I had to come to terms with was people care in the ways that they're able to. We are all looking out for ourselves and for each other in the ways that we can. And this was something that, like, I'm gonna burst into tears, but it's so hard because we do love people the way that we love people, and it's not up to those people to decide if how we care about them is satisfactory. Like, yes, there are, like, love languages, and, like, how do you show somebody that you have an interest, and how do you show somebody that you care? And that's where communication comes in. And if you want to check in with the person and be like, hey, is this something that I could do for you? Or you do a little bit of research yourself and be like, hey, maybe these are some things I could try, and then I'll communicate with them, let them know that I've tried these things and see how that works. But it's not up to us to be like, oh my god, this person hates me and is being like a huge, when in reality, like, everybody's going through their own shit right now. And 4 minutes of your life, you're never going to get back listening to me yap about this, but it's so important to note that, like, I am very close to refilming this video at this exact moment watching this because it is so negative. It's like, it is causing me pain to know that, like, I do actually feel like this sometimes, but it's not all the time. And on the day that I filmed this, I was in a really bad spot, and I still am, but it's not the end of all things, because there are people that care. There are people that care, and sometimes it's just people on the internet, and sometimes it's people in person, sometimes it's family, sometimes it's friends, sometimes it's neither, sometimes you have to look out for yourself and put yourself first. It's, you know, sometimes it's all of the above, you know. Please, while you're watching this, if you are still watching this, what are you doing? I don't even know at this point. Just know that it isn't all doom and gloom, and it isn't all the end of the world, and you are going to find your way, because I found my way, and I believe that that's going to happen for you too. Yeah, okay, so I'm going to let past Courtney take it away, but they're pretty negative, so just with a grain of salt, please, okay? Please, thank you, I love you guys. So the reality was that I did feel immense relief when I got my diagnosis. I know that everybody loves to have comments on, like, oh, why did you cry? Like, did you not watch the whole video? Like, there was a reason, man. There was a reason that I broke down and was just demolished by this news. Like, I was 35 at the time, okay? I was living with so much anxiety and stress and physical that was like manifesting from everything that was going up here, and I was hitting the end of my burnout. Like, to find out that everything that you hate about yourself and everything that everybody hates about you is actually because you're autistic and not because you're just an who just likes to piss people off. Like, that is a mind, like, you have no idea. Like, that, and sure, for some people, okay, so we're all different, right? Like, it's all like a spectrum. So some autistics are gonna be like, yeah, okay, well, I knew that already. Like, or they're gonna be really happy to be like, yes, I finally have an answer. You know what? For me, it was like I just crashed my car into a brick wall of like reality. Any hope you ever had of ever feeling better, that's not gonna happen. Like, that's just not going to happen because you're not going to get better. This is just your lot in life now. Like, this is just the hand you've been dealt. So, like, my tears are my own, you know? Like, you don't have to understand that. And it was so bothersome, and it still is, because people still, oh, why did you cry? Why did you cry? I would have been so happy. Like, okay, good. I'm glad that you would be happy. I wasn't. I was shocked. I was shocked. I was devastated, I was stunned, I was relieved. Like, I didn't cut out a lot of what you saw in that video. Like, most of the stuff that I recorded was stuff that made it in. I didn't want to be feeling shame for having these feelings and for expressing upset at some of the things that I've encountered in my life. In my heart, it was what I felt like I had to share, and I didn't see it. And I don't know if I would do it differently, doing it again. Maybe I would have prefaced it and done what I did with this video and just been like, hey, just so that we're all on the same page. This wasn't, you know, wasn't putting it out there to hurt anybody. Have you clicked away yet? Because, oh Lord. And I have thought about taking it down, but with the hundreds of thousands of views that it has and the like hundreds upon hundreds upon hundreds of comments that I've received from people reaching out to me to tell me that I've helped. For all the people that watched it, that got something from it, that was the point. And I'm not gonna take it down because of that. Because I feel like I'm helping people. You guys are telling me, I'm getting emails from you guys, paragraphs upon paragraphs upon paragraphs, which yes, I am reading. I don't always have the spoons to reply to everybody, but I do read everything that comes my way. You guys are like me. Like, we're seeing each other. So the big thing that I wasn't prepared for, which I mentioned a little bit just now, was losing hope. So I've always had it in my mind, and I know a lot of you guys can relate to this, where I've always thought that I would just outgrow this one day. I always thought that I would just outgrow the weird, okay? Where one day I would just be like, I'd wake up and be like, okay, like normal, like adult hat on and we ride. Perfect. Like, I always thought that one day I would just be fine. Like, it would just get better. And I've always had this little bit of hope, right? It's just like a little bit of hope that's just kind of like, woo-woo-woo. And that got snuffed out completely. And I didn't notice, right? I didn't notice. I was walking with my husband, and we were talking about it, and it hit me that I lost hope. I completely lost hope, because autism is not curable. Like, okay, and turning it off. It's not something that's ever gonna go away. It's not something that I can actually fix outside of like accommodations that just help me manage this a little bit better. Like, that dawned on me, but it didn't dawn on me, you know, that like, oh, I had hope before this that I would one day be okay. And it was a false hope, obviously, right? But like, I miss feeling like that. I miss thinking that like when I have good days that I'm getting better. I miss feeling that like there is a chance that one day I'll just wake up and all of the little things that make me me will just be like okay for everybody else, you know? I'm wearing so much makeup because I have to film later with Mermaid Zelda. So if I could please just keep it together. And so there are people who, instead of like taking the big tumble that I did, they have really good support systems and things in place, and people who are just willing to be there to help their disabled friends. And I feel like for the first little while, and I mean, I had so many of my friends and family watched my video and commented their support. I had some pretty unrealistic expectations of what I thought the people in my life would be willing to do once they found out that I was autistic. I had it in my mind that people would want to educate themselves. I really thought that, like, you know, I'm mentioning books, I'm mentioning videos, I'm mentioning tools and things, and for a little while, maybe people had like a tiny bit of an interest. Like, that faded really quick. If you are having a hard time hearing this right now, there's an opportunity for some reflection on both of our parts, okay? But it is not meant to be mean. This is because I have had a video go viral, and all of these people, these beautiful people, they want to know. So just please take a deep breath and maybe don't finish watching the video if this is not what you want to hear. Okay, if you're still here, let's continue on. I had hoped, and I feel like a lot of people in a lot of different communities have this kind of hope, that when new information comes up, that everybody pitches in. And instead of that, I am met with the why can't you just? And how come you can be this way for these people and not for me? You're thinking too much about yourself. Why can't you just get over it? It's not helpful. It was a band-aid that needed to get ripped off. And I have learned so much about myself and also the things that I'm willing to put up with in my life from people, and what these people are willing to put up with from me. And discovering that there are some relationships that are forever altered and forever changed. And it, you know, somebody has to tell you that, because if you don't know that and you go and do what I did, or you just come out to a person in person and expecting that they're going to get it and they might not, it is the reality of the situation. I'm not discouraging you from being true to yourself and doing what you need to do, but you do need to put your safety in mind. You do need to keep that somewhere up here. Your mental and physical well-being need to also matter. So just, So then I want to talk about unmasking, because here's something that somebody also really needs to tell you, is that unmasking makes everything worse for a period of time. So you're gonna unmask, you're gonna start being yourself, whatever that looks like for you, right? You're gonna start stimming, you're gonna start having, you know, whatever facial expressions feel more comfortable to you. You're gonna dress a certain way, maybe you shave your head, whatever it is. It makes everything worse. So much worse. I am telling you, like, the decline of my mental health while I was unmasking was insane. Like, what it came down to was that I'm not even safe to unmask. So why did I spend all of that time trying to do it just to undo all of the things that I did? Well, I didn't undo all of the things that I did. There is still a percentage of me that is unmasked, but I have had to very severely alter and course correct, because oh my God, like, I became so hyper aware of any time I was trying to put my game face on that it would send me into these wicked rages where I was like, oh, you know, how dare you ask this of me? And like, I mean, like, I just wanted to, and I still do. Part of me just wants to scream at everybody, like, why don't you get this? Okay, just take a deep breath. Take one with me, okay? So the realization that I came to is, the realizations, we should say, is that nobody really cares the way that I thought they would. And I know that that sounds extraordinarily selfish, as much of this video has. You guys just wanted to know, you wanted to hear it, so here it is. This changed me fundamentally as a person forever. This whole experience. So, and you guys watched it. 167,000 views or whatever it's at now, I don't even know. I had to make a follow-up. I had to say, because you deserve to know. People are all wrapped up in their own stuff, and that is okay. It's actually okay that you're focused on what you're focused on. You don't, like, with a grain of salt, but you don't care about me. You're here because you're hoping I'm going to give you an answer to something. I'm going to give you help for something. You are going to take something away from this, and I hope that you are. But you are not as concerned with me and what I'm doing as you are with you and what you're doing. And that is the human condition, man. That is what we do. Survival. It's a whole thing, right? You put your oxygen mask on first. I get it. I have no judgment. I don't really care, but I didn't have that in my mind until after all of this. And boy, it would have helped. It really would have helped. I think that it would have helped. I might have done things differently if I'd known. This kind of brings me to the big realization, like the biggest realization, which is that nobody's ever going to care about me the way that I care about me. And maybe even the way that I need to care about me. And the fact that I can say that also underlines how privileged I am, that I am in a situation where I can put myself first and where my needs are such that I am able to meet my needs. I am considered a low support needs, high masking autistic, and I know that I have higher support needs that do need to be met, but I cannot get them met. I can't. I've tried. It's not possible. So in my mind, I have to meet what needs I can for myself. So the next thing that I want to touch on is an extremely hot take. I'm really actually scared to put this out there on the internet. Please remember everything that I've been through, okay? And what my experience coming out as an autistic person has been, and know that this is really the only conclusion that I've been able to come to that makes me feel safe. So my needs are human needs, and if you don't like it, too bad. To summarize, okay? If you don't like me or the fact that I have needs, then please quietly collect your things and leave. No harm, no foul. I will not be upset. I promise. We don't need to make it a big deal. But I can't do the I need this because dance. I can't do it anymore. I need you to do this because I'm autistic. I have autistic needs. I can't do that anymore. Like nobody wants to hear about it. Especially when there's like autism attached to it. That's like a big, that's specifically that's a hard no. Nobody cares. I'm gonna say there are people who care. I do have like a select few friends and family who do really care a lot. And so like, I know this has been like seemingly a big F you to the world. There are people that care. Okay, so gotta stop crying. Stop it! So I've just decided, and I know it's privileged, I know that not all autistics are able to do this, but I just decided to start meeting my own needs. If I don't want to do something, I don't have to do it. I'm 37 years old. I am a grown-ass adult. I pay my bills, I pay my taxes. If I don't want to go to that event, I don't have to. If I don't want to watch this movie in theaters, I don't have to. I want to eat at that restaurant, I don't bloody well have to. I want to wear my headphones, I can. I want to wear earplugs, no problem. I don't have to have an explanation. No is a standalone sentence. That's a response. No. A no thank you. But no is nice. That's fabulous. I'm not able to, for my own mental well-being, to explain to people that it's because of the autism that I need things a certain way. So if I'm wearing my headphones and you ask me why, it's because it's too loud in here. There it is. Oh God. I know this all sounds super aggressive. I actually made a note to mention this because I know I sound like I'm so aggressive right now. And I have a lot of feelings, obviously, that like bubble up when I talk about all of this stuff, which is why it took me so long to put together a video, because what am I saying, you know? But like, I am constantly met with so much resistance when I try to tell people that my needs are specifically because I'm autistic. And you're probably like, well, what do you need to? That's what I'm saying. Why do I need to tell you? If you have any respect for me and I tell you that I am not willing or able to do something, you're either gonna get it or you're not. It's going to be a yes or a no. It's going to be, okay, we're good to go, or it's going to be a, hey, I'll see you later. Maybe never. Okay? I would just love to know why prior to this, like people used to just not say stuff to my face. They would say stuff behind my back. And I think when I bust out the autism, I'm more likely to be like met up front with, well, why do you mean that? You know, that kind of nonsense. Whereas it used to be like people would just ha behind my back and like I'd find out about it through the grapevine. Be like, oh, so-and-so said, ooh, my foot's cramping. Oof. That was good. Ooh, my toe is bent completely the wrong way. Don't look at it. That really hurt. I had to start a fresh recording. So now I want to talk to you guys about something that I like to call customer service Courtney. So this is going to be controversial AF. And I would like to make a special note about masking. I don't like masking. I hate having to paste a smile on my face so that people can better interpret what I'm saying or my tone of voice. Because really, I would love for you guys, because I've been pretty unmasked, I would say, throughout this video. But like my tone of voice makes me sound like I'm angry, according to most people. Or that I'm really intense about something, right? 90% of the time. And if I'm not making eye contact with you and I am not like ear to ear, I do come across like a bit of a... It just happens. Like, you know, not everybody's cup of tea. And I really don't like having to put on the big song and dance. And this isn't about being friendly and this isn't about being rude, but this is in those moments where my reaction is not the stereotypical or what you would expect. It is in those moments where people look at me like, wait, like, are you serious? And then I'm like, oh no, yeah, like everything's fine. You know, it's in those moments. And I hate that I can't just be myself and not have people assume the worst in me. I've had a couple of encounters. I do not feel safe in public anymore. So I mask again. I had tried really hard to stop and I gave up. So I mask in public. Sometimes in private, I mask, and it sucks. And I do it with everybody, friends, family, with everyone, because it's just, I am not okay to be myself. And please, I know a lot of you have already said this to me, and I know that you had good intentions, and I know that, like, the people who are watching this, maybe you're not autistic and you have somebody who's autistic in your life, know that when you ask us, like, oh, well, you don't mask around me, we do. Like, oh, you don't have to mask around me, I do. The stuff that makes me autistic is the stuff that makes me really unappealing to people. So there isn't a single person in my life who doesn't get at least a little bit. Some more than others. I think this fantasy that you get diagnosed and then you get your support needs like met and then you unmask and then you just live this perfect autistic life. It's just not the reality of the situation. Now that we have had that, because there's more, but I don't think I haven't got it in me. We're gonna say, so what good came out of all of this? Because was it all bad? No, it wasn't all bad. Okay, there have been good things on this journey and things that I just wouldn't trade for anything. One thing that was very unexpected was hearing all of your stories and how many of you relate and how many of you have been helped by my experience, the good, the bad, and the ugly, and also learning the ways that I can better help myself cope with some of the difficult things in my life. That has been beneficial. It has. Knowing that I do have different needs and that I'm not just like malfunctioning and that it's just actually you have a different like neurotype, your brain is just processing stuff differently, which means you have different needs, and that has been helpful. People like, oh, why do you need a diagnosis? For that reason alone, it's worth it. Okay, just to know like that there are different things that you can try to make your life a little bit easier, that for that alone, okay, it was worth it. And it was also worth it because it helps you understand yourself better in terms of the relationships that, you know, when things go sideways or when you're not treated well in maybe a work environment or, you know, a social setting or whatever. And you realize like, oh, that's why, oh, okay, so it's not just because I'm trash or a bad person. I mean, sure, there could be sprinklings, okay? But you start to realize that like it wasn't just you. Like it wasn't just like you're not just a piece of crap. You're like actually like you have needs and they weren't being met and that led to bad things all around, right? Okay. So it's been extremely challenging and I'm only like just now starting to come out of what I feel like was the darkest chapter of this whole thing, which just kept getting worse with like other things that were happening in my life. It just the world was like, let's just keep going. Let's just see how much further we can go. How much further can we push this before Courtney's head pops off? Keep it together, man. I will also say that some amazing things have also come out of all of this. And one of the most amazing parts was some of the friendships that I made. Specifically one. It was a friendship that I've had for a few years, kind of like from a distance. But it was because of the autism. They reached out to me and were like, hey, you're autistic. I'm autistic too. Like, I didn't know. That's so cool. And then we just started talking and we just sort of bonded like over all of these shared experiences and all of this crazy stuff. And they've been so supportive and so kind to me over the years. And it's a friendship that I didn't really expect to find. Like at this, you know, 37, right? Like making friends is hard anyways. Forget being autistic. Like, good Lord, right? I can thank that video for bringing this person into my life. You know who you are, and I love you so much. And so those are the things, you know, getting to know yourself better, the new people that you'll meet, people you'll help along the way, and those shared experiences that you didn't know you were actually sort of silently sharing with other people. Because even though we're all so different, we also have so much in common. And so I guess like all in all, now that my eyes are starting to burn, I really do hope that it does get better with time and with patience and with practicing the sort of maintenance and upkeep of my boundaries and kind of learning how to honor my needs. And I don't know that I will always need that customer service Courtney version of myself that I've had to pull out of storage. And maybe one day when I find a better balance of who I am in the mask that keeps me safe, you know, maybe that all changes. Again, who knows? And I do want you to know I didn't make this video to scare you. That was not my intention. Although I'm sure I did scare a few of you, and I hope that's not the case, because it's not what I wanted. But I did want you to know that there were consequences and that my expectations would be different if I had to do this again. Like, knowing what I know about how it went versus what the expectations were, like the night and day difference still hits pretty hard. I would do it again though. Just to know what I know and to answer so many of those questions that I've had all my life trying to figure out like the whole thing. I would do it again, as much as it sucked and as much as it hurt. But I do think I would keep more of it to myself. I do still think I would make a video, but I would keep more of it to myself, even the stuff in person. I would keep more of it to myself because, and it's not because I have any kind of shame or I have any kind of that, but it's just for my own mental and physical well-being. It's earned now. It's earned now. Like, yes, it's out there on the internet, so that is what it is. But when it comes to the sort of everyday experience, the people who don't necessarily know me online or who don't see me online as much as they see me in person, or who don't watch my videos or content or whatever, it's earned now. You're just gonna get from me what I'm able to give, and that's and like really, and not much more. So I do want to thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video. If you made it all the way through to the end, I will be shocked, but I will be grateful. I know it was really heavy, and I know that you're gonna have feelings about some of the things that I said, and just know that no matter how you feel about what I said and how it may or may not apply to you and your experience, just know that I'm just going to be happy if what you take away from this is that you will honor your needs your way. You don't have to do anything the way that I did it. This was not in any way me being like, oh, I have it all figured out now. Like, no, you know, just take what you can from this that will hopefully benefit you in some way, and then leave the things that didn't resonate. That's all that I can say. I am a little bit scared to post this. I really wonder how much editing Courtney cried while editing this. Like, do you have anything to say? Editing Courtney here. I actually cried a lot, and I more than once thought of just scrapping the whole thing and saying like, forget it, we're not going to share this. This is way too much to put out on the internet. And I did cut out quite a bit. So this is a 37-ish minute long video plus whatever this is adding to it. And I filmed for over an hour. So I did cut out quite a bit because some of it got pretty dark, and that's not what the video was meant to be about, but I hope that you did take something away from it. And yeah, I did have a couple of very serious breakdowns. I've had to set a timer to actually like force myself to get through editing this because we were just powering through, but I hope you did enjoy it. And back to past Courtney. If this is the first video of mine that you've seen, I got a whole like autism playlist going. It's not the entire theme of my YouTube channel. Mermaids is a large part of the theme of my YouTube channel, but we do, you know, I am autistic, so that comes into the conversation periodically. So there you go. I'll link some videos and stuff for you to check out, and some playlists and whatnot at the end of this. You know, to my friends and family, and of course to Eric, to those of you who have really been there for me and really supported me and really shown up for me, it really means a lot. It means more than you'll ever know. And let's just see where we go from here. So thank you so much for watching today's video. I hope that you enjoyed it, or at least took something away from it. If you didn't enjoy it, I am sorry. I didn't really expect it to be that kind of a video anyways, but thumbs up if you did though, and subscribe for more of this kind of content. Maybe I won't be crying as much, although the makeup has held up, I think, so we're okay. Otherwise, I look forward to catching you all again in my next video. Happy swimming, happy stimming, happy something, I don't know. I love you. Bye-bye.